Good afternoon, everybody. This is Robert at Scott Leroy Marketing. We'll get started with our Kelly overview class here in just a minute, but before we get started, there's a couple of things I want to get out of the way. First, I want to make sure you can actually hear me. So if you'll look up near the very top of your screen, you should have these same 5 buttons that I do. If you'll click on this one just to the left of center that looks like a speech bubble icon, that'll open up your chat window here. If you would please let me know here in the chat window whether you can or can't hear me, I'd really appreciate that. I want to make sure you guys can hear me throughout the class here. And then I'm going to leave this chat window here on the screen so that if you guys do have any questions as we go along, anything that I missed, anything you'd like me to go back over, anything that wasn't 100% clear, you can definitely send me those questions in that chat window as well. Now this class is recorded. It should be available hopefully in just a couple of hours, but at the latest tomorrow at slmtraining.com. So that's S as in Scott, L as in Leroy, M as in marketing, training.com. And then there is the option, if you're having trouble hearing on your computer, or if you'd just rather listen on your phone, there is the option to call in and listen on your phone. And that number has been on the screen a couple of times now, but I also sent it to you guys there in the chat window. I'm not seeing any responses that you can or can't hear me, so I'm going to have to just assume that you can hear me. If you can't hear me, definitely let me know. If you can hear me, let me know in the chat window here so we can make sure that that's good for everybody and on the recording. All right, so to get started working with Kelly, let me bring something up here. Okay, do have a couple of people saying they can hear me. Beautiful. All right, so to get started working with Kelly, a couple of things to keep in mind before we get started. Let me maximize. No, I didn't want to go back. I want to maximize. All right, so before we get started working with Kelly, there's a couple of things to keep in mind, a few considerations. Kelly is essentially an infant. She's about a year and a half old. She was released at Family Reunion in February of 2018, and there's still a lot that Kelly will be able to do eventually that she can't do yet. And a lot of that is dependent on the capabilities of command, which is what Kelly works through. So if the capability isn't in command yet, of course it won't be available in Kelly. So things like campaigns and things like that don't exist in command yet, Kelly won't be able to do anything with that either. There's also some functions of command that Kelly just doesn't have the ability to do yet, also at the same time. Now with that in mind, both we and KW International do recommend treating Kelly like a 2-year-old. You want to use simple commands, just a couple of words like show my referral network. You also want to use specific commands like what is my GCI, gross commission income, for the year versus what have I done this year. What have I done encompasses a lot of separate questions. It includes GCI, it includes listings taken, it includes sold, it includes closed volume, things like that. And that's currently not something that she can put together all at once. You want to ask individual specific things of her. You also want to manage your expectations. Just like with a toddler, you probably have a great idea for something that Kelly could or should be able to do, but can't do yet. You can actually submit ideas for what you'd like for Kelly to be able to do and like for command to be able to do at ideas.kw.com. So that's ideas, plural, with an S at the end, .kw.com. You can submit your own ideas there. You can also vote on ideas that other people have already submitted. And probably most ideas have already been submitted. You can just look for that and vote for it. To see what Kelly is capable of, you can just ask, what can you do? Now, one last thing to cover for the rest of this class, if there's anything that I'm showing you, I'm going to share my phone screen just a little bit. If there's anything I'm showing you on my phone that's different from what's on your phone, especially if there's something that I have that you don't have, there's nothing to be panicking about. There's not a glitch, there's not an error, there's not a problem, it's nothing negative. I just have access to some things that you might not have access to. I'm a member of a particular labs group, and you may not be a member of that same labs group. So there's no need to worry if your screen does not exactly match mine. Eventually, everybody's going to have all of the same features, but right now, since Command and Kelly are still in development, there are probably going to be some differences between what I've got on my phone and what you've got on your phone. You may even have have something that I don't have that I won't be able to cover. So if there's any disparity, nothing to freak out about. It's normal, it's expected. Okay, where am I? So to get started working with Kelly, of course, we first have to download the Kelly app. You can get that either from the Apple App Store or from the Google Play Store. Kelly, unfortunately, is not available for Windows Phone or BlackBerry. It's just like the KW app. It's only available on Apple iPhone and on Android. So you'd want to go to your App Store on your relative device and go ahead and download Kelly. And you would just search for K-E-L-L-E. You don't have to follow any of the suggestions that it drops down with. You just do K-E-L-L-E, done, search, enter, whatever the affirmative is, and then you click your download button, which is going to look different on different phones or if you've previously downloaded it. Once you've got the app downloaded, you're going to need to sign in. So you'll open up the Kelly app and you'll use your mykw.kw.com username and password. It's the same username and password that you use to log into the MyKW system, into Command, into Keller Mortgage, into Keller Video. All of those use the same username and password. So you will get that into Kelly here, and you can have it save that login information so you don't have to put it in every time. Now, do note, since last September, it's been almost a year now, the username is not going to be your @kw.com email address. That was changed when KW International changed the login system last September. It can't be your KW email address anymore. It's going to be typically first initial, last name, and then maybe a number or two. Then you can find that on your MyKW Setup Complete or Keller Cloud Setup Complete email that we sent you previously. Once you are signed in, you can enable Touch ID or Face ID on iOS devices. I don't believe Android has anything similar to that you can enable, but if you're on an iPhone, you can use Touch ID before iPhone X, or if you've got the X or anything after that, you can enable Face ID to log into Kelly. Once you are signed in, more than likely, you're going to want to enable these notifications. You want to tap allow or yes or enable, whatever the affirmative is, so that you can get real-time updates on your referrals, your contacts, deals that you're working on, your content in KW Connect. Those are the main kinds of notifications you're going to get in Kelly, and more than likely, it's very, 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 very strongly recommended you do want to allow notifications from Kelly so that you can get up to the second notifications about what's going on in your KW systems. Now, since Kelly is a fairly new system, some issues are bound to occur. Kelly and Command, you want to kind of be of the mindset of if there's not an error, if there's not a problem, that's the exception. You want to expect errors and problems from Kelly and from Command for the time being because they are still being developed. So if you're signed in and there's not a problem, that's the exception to the rule. If you sign in and there is a problem, you got to expect that, and then the only thing to do, unfortunately, is to wait. You got to hurry up and wait it out for KW International to fix it on their end. If you try it again the next day and you still have a problem, maybe you want to reach out to KW International support, but there is nothing that you or we can do to fix this. It's all handled by KW International support. SLM nor you has any access to fix anything to do with Kelly at all. In any way, shape, form, or fashion. So if you're having a problem with Kelly, you can't fix it, we can't fix it. I just want to make sure that's 100% clear. So if it's telling you like this server error here, or it says your login information is wrong and you know it's correct, that would be something to reach out to KW International support. Okay, so this is where I'm going to have to deviate from our slideshow here because this was made prior to a big update to Kelly a few months ago, and I have not had time to change it. So I'm going to share my phone screen. There we go. Drag that up there. And oh, where'd it go? I did not mean to do that. I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, so here's my phone screen. So while I'm getting things figured out here, if you do have any questions so far, again, remember to send those over to me in the chat window. And if there's anybody that joined us after I first explained those instructions, you can find the chat window by looking up near the top of your screen. You should have the same 5 buttons that I do. If you'll click on this one just to the left of center, that's going to open up the chat window here. And that's where you can send me questions for anything you'd like me to clarify as we go through. So I've got Kelly installed on my phone. It's the nice teal colored logo icon here with the KW logo, not to be confused with the consumer app, the regular KW app. This is for clients. This is for you as an agent. Clients, agent, clients, agent. Just want to make sure there's a separation there in your guys' minds. So we're going to open up Kelly. Now I do have my login information saved here, so it automatically logs me in. There we go. So this is what my home page looks like. Yours is going to look fairly similar. It's going to start at the top with your most recently contacted contacts, or actually, now that I think about it, this is going to be your farthest back contacted contacts. I forgot I found that out last time I did this class. So these are contacts that Kelly and Command are suggesting that you reach out to because it's been a long time since you did. And the way that it's doing that is it's looking at, I've connected my Gmail account to my Command system. And so the email address, like for Sarah here or Diane or rover.com or whatever, the email address that's in this contact, it's looking over at my Gmail and seeing, okay, the last time a message was sent to this email address was, a while back, so it's probably a good idea to reach out to them. Under that, we've got local insights. This is, we'll cover more about insights in just a little bit, but this is basically this guy advertising himself in my local GPS area. I've never heard of this Matt Johnson guy. I've never seen his sign around town. He probably doesn't even really work this area, but he just decided to throw this insight in here to self-promote, which is not what Insights is about. We'll cover more about what Insights is for in just a little bit. We'll get over to that section of the app. Underneath that, we've got snaps for areas around my GPS location. So this is, south of 6th Avenue. This is north of 6th Avenue over by Garfield Street. This is the entire city of Emporia. And if you want to see the full snap, just tap on View Kelly Snap. And it's going to show you the snap for whatever area it was that it was showing you. So this is the 66801 zip code, 71 total active listings, 5 pending. It's a small market, very small market. Average days on market, 55. Average price, it's a little bit higher than average. That's nice. Price per square foot and things like that. And then you can always share these snaps and everything from here, which this is a good time to go ahead and do that. So since we're viewing this snap, we can tap the share button here. Typically when you see a box with an arrow pointing out of it, no matter what direction the arrow is pointing, that means share, especially on mobile devices. So we're going to tap on share here. And it's asking me what format of sharing do I want to share. So it's really hard to see here on the screen. It doesn't translate contrast well, but this check mark here is for all. I've also got team down here, MC, and me. All is showing all listings in the snap. This is going to show listings for my team in this snap. This is going to show listings under my market center in this snap, and this is going to show just my listings in this snap. Most often, you're just going to want to select all to show all listings all listings that are in this area for the snap. And then you've got a spot down here to add a note. So this is a note. And then you can scroll down and click share. And then you can share that via different sharing communication apps on your phone. So it's going to pop up asking, do you want to message this? You can airdrop that. You can send it via any communications app on your phone. You can even just copy the link and paste it in somewhere else if the app isn't listed here. So I'm going to tap cancel because I don't actually want to share this. All right, I'm going to tap my back arrow up here at the top left to go back to my home page. Lastly, on the home page here are some featured videos from KW International. These are out of KW Connect. Excuse me. KW International, as far as I can tell, chooses these videos to show on the homepage of your Kelly app, and I believe it's the same for everybody. If it's not the same for you, definitely let me know there in the chat window, because if it's individualized, I want to know about that. Okay, coming down here on the left, this little I icon inside what looks like a speech box, I means information. So if we tap on I, it's going to pop up the information menu for what can I ask Kelly. And if you tap on any of these sections, like we'll tap on contacts here, it'll give you examples of things that Kelly can do with your contacts. You can find a particular contact, you can show their information. In fact, I think all three of these are basically the same command. It's going to show the information for the name of the contact. You can look up specific information about a contact. You can add new contacts. There's 3 of them right there. You can ask whose number is such and such. It'll go find that contact. Show me contacts added this year. Let me tap on that one. I've never done that one. See what that looks like. So there are 455 contacts that were added to command this year, and I can swipe through those sideways here. Coming back out here, that you can tap on any of these examples here. Now these sections here for the different things that you can ask Kelly are not exhaustive. This is not every single thing you can ask Kelly to do. It's most of them, and it's great examples for things that you can change and adapt to your own situation, but this is not everything Kelly can do. It's just showing you here's some examples. And we're going to be covering most of these things in separate sections, so I'm just going to back out of here. We'll jump over here to the Ask Kelly box here. If I tap on that, it's going to bring up my keyboard, and you're essentially kind of sending a chat message, a text message to Kelly asking her to do such and such. So show my CGI goals, and I'll send that. It looks like I haven't set any goals for 2019, so I can tap on Add Goals here and go set my CGI goals for the year. I can also ask her things like show Diane Harmon. There we go, found 2 contacts that match Diane Harmon. I'm not sure why Diane's in my database twice, but she is in there and it shows me those contact information. You can also do things like add a contact. There we go, you tap on enter contact details and you can enter the information about that contact. And we'll go more into how to do that in just a little bit. So you can ask Kelly you can ask Kelly to do things for you by tapping on that section that says Ask Kelly, or you can tap on the microphone icon and that's going to listen for voice commands. So I can tell her, well, I don't know why it didn't go straight to voice. Why are you not listening? Oh, now you're listening. Go back. Kelly Snap 66801. There we go, it's showing me snaps in my area. And these are basically the same ones that showed on the home page, but I could do this for kind of any zip code, any city, anywhere I want to go. Kelly Snap 39465. I don't know why it's showing snaps near me. I guess there's still some kinks to work out there. Like I said, if there are issues, that is the status quo. That's to be expected. So they're still being worked on, and I could suggest this to KW International if I felt like it. Okay, coming back to the home page. Home is where we are currently, down here in the very bottom menu. To the right of that, we've got Command, and this is where you can work with Contacts, Insights, Map Search, Referrals, Keller Mortgage, and then the Task Manager from Command. And we're going to go through each of these individually. Starting up here at Contacts, this is going to show a list of all of your contacts that are in Command. So if you have 30,000 contacts in Command, I actually imported 38,000 for one lady a few months back, so it's not impossible. You will see all 38,000 contacts here in this Command section for your contacts. So you can sort this by up at the top, or actually even farther up at the top, you can filter this. So we'll tap on Filters, and you can filter by groups, which is tags. I don't know why they're not called tags here. You need some consistency back and forth. But I can filter by tags. So if I start typing a tag name, it's going to search for tags that I've already put in, so I can tap on that Kelly suggestion there, and it's going to add that in as a group to search for, I think. Didn't I tap on it? Tap on Kelly, apply, Okay, so it's showing me contacts that were added by Kelly, even though it's not showing it in this actual box right here. You can search by company, source, whether they're captured or connected, so their status. You can do a date range of last time you contacted them, whether that's here in command you added a note, or it could pull from your Gmail connection last time you emailed them. Date range of created, modified, so you made a change. Birthday, you can search by phone number, by email address, or by primary address. So if I wanted to show, everybody that has Gmail has a Gmail address and apply that. Oh, that's right. The filters for Kelly are still in place. So let me go back here. Okay, so we're going to go filter, and I want to find everybody that has a Gmail address. Apply. So this is showing me everybody that has an @gmail.com address. So it looks like there's not a reliable way to clear filters. So the best way I'm seeing to do that is just to go back out of the contact list and then back in, and that'll clear the filters. So you can sort by different categories here. You can sort by names, groups, sources, status, created, modified, or last contacted. So if you're one of those people that wants last name here, it's going to sort by last name alphabetically, starting with, it looks like there is no last name up here at the top, and then A to Z. And then you can switch those up here with these arrows. So this is A to Z with the blue highlight right here. If I switch it, it's going to be Z to A. It's going to be reverse alphabetical. And then I can also search for contacts. We're going to add new in just a minute. We can search for specific contacts right here. It's kind of hard to see, like I said, not a lot of contrast here on the screen, but on my phone I've got search contacts, so I can search for a specific name. Oops, that's not how I spell Smith. There we go. I've got different Smiths in here. Most of these are going to be fake contacts that I've put into the commands, or excuse me, here in Kelly during classes. So I'm going to actually tap into John here and then tap edit, and I'm going to go delete John, or archive him anyway. Okay, we've got another error, and that is to be expected. Could not find the contact. So it deleted it. Yeah, okay. Okay, it looks like I'm stuck in a loop here. So we will not be deleting any contacts. Okay, so then the last thing to show you here on the page is to add new contacts. So we're going to add a fake contact here. We're going to put in a name of Andrew Jackson. He's on the 20, right? Or is he on the 5? Lincoln's on the 5, so Jackson's on the 20. So we've got Andrew Jackson in there. We're going to throw in a fake phone number of, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is too many. Oh, wait, we need 10 for an area code. And we can choose the type of, is this work, mobile, or other? We're going to do mobile here. I can add more phone numbers. I can add up to 3 phone numbers per contact. I can add up to 3 email addresses. That's weird. You can only import 2. I can add up to 3 physical addresses. There we go. We got 3 physical addresses there. I can add in tags here. I can type in whatever tags I want, and they'll actually be created if they don't already exist. Also, anytime you add a contact here via the Kelly app, it's automatically going to have a tag of Kelly. So I could do class, comma, test, comma, and now those tags are going to be applied when I save this. And then for status, is it captured or connected? So captured just means you have their information. Connected means you've actually interacted with them. You've spoken with them, you've called them, you've texted them, you've met them in person. I'm going to do connected there. And then you can add different social medias here. Your options are Facebook, Twitter, Google, Instagram, Path, Cloud, LinkedIn. Okay, there's a big long list there. I'm not going to read all of those. And you can add all of those. So it looks like there are about a dozen. I could tap, oh, only 3. Interesting. And then relationships. So relationships is kind of funny. This is where you're choosing another contact that's already in your command database and saying this person that I'm adding now is related to this other person that's already in my database. So I could say that the spouse here of Andrew Jackson is, let's see, Smith. I'm just going to grab one of these Smiths here. Why aren't you showing me any results? There we go. Got a bunch of Smiths in here. So I'm going to do Jimmy here. I'm going to pretend Andrew's gay and Jimmy is his spouse. And if you accidentally chose the wrong person, you can unlink them over here on the right and say, no, that's not the family member. I'm going to add a different person. And then lastly, down here, we've got notes. So this is a fake contact. And then I would just tap save up at the top right to add that information here into command. I'm not actually going to save it because I've got a lot of fake contacts in here, but you guys see the process there. Okay, so that is, let's cover really briefly looking at and editing a contact. So I've got this John Smith right here. Tap on him. This is viewing the information that I have currently about John. So up here at the top, you can't see them, but they're grayed out here. We've got a phone call button, we've got a text button, we've got an email button, and then we've got a more options button for what to do with this contact. You can see it a little bit better there. So coming back out here, if I had a phone number here in John's contact, I could call him directly from here. I could also text him. Since I have only an email address, it only gives me the option to send an email to him. Now, this email is going to come through your default email app on your phone. It's not going to be sent via command. It's just going to open up your default mail app. So this is opening up mail on my phone. So I'll delete that draft there. Come back over to John, and it shows that we've got some relationships down here. So he's married to Jane. Andrew Smith is his parent, and then apparently he's married twice to Jane Smith. Now I can, coming up to this menu right here, logging an interaction means you're logging, well, let's just look at it. You're logging, was this a phone call, a text message, an email, or you just want to throw in a quick note about him. You can also come back and view the activity history for this contact. So it looks like I don't have any history. So let's log an interaction here. We'll say it was a text message. Add notes to this. We'll tell it yes. Notes, test, send. Okay, would you like to record this note? Tell it yes. And voila. So now we've got some notes for John. So now if I tap on this menu and do view activity history, it'll show that here theoretically. Well, guess not. Okay, so another issue that I'm not surprised to run into, just because Kelly and Command are still under development. And then we've also got Edit Contact, which we can also access up here at the top right. This Edit button does the same thing as this Edit button, and I can change all that information that we just saw from when we were adding a contact. So I'm actually going to unlink this Jane Smith here and remove that line there because he's not married to Jane twice. Even renewing your vows, you're not actually getting married twice. So then we'll save that up at the top right. Ta-da, we edited John Smith. Okay, so that's the most important thing most people want to know about in Kelly. How do I work with my command contacts? That's exactly how. Now, all of those things that we just did, show so-and-so, edit so-and-so, add so-and-so to my database, you can do all of that via commands with Kelly. So you can speak that or type that to Kelly. Okay. For Insights, I covered this very briefly at the beginning on the homepage, that guy who was plugging himself via Insights. That's not what Insights is for. Insights is helpful tips for other agents and prospective people that are potentially going to move to your area. So this is especially helpful for out-of-state and out-of-town buyers. Or it will be. It's not yet. What's going to happen is these insights are eventually going to be part of the new KW app, the new consumer app that KW International is developing. They told us that was going to be available by the end of June. Guess what? It's the end of July. We don't have that yet. Not a big shocker. But eventually, when the new KW app does come out, it's going to fully integrate with Kelly and with Command. It's going to have much better lead capture capabilities. It's going to be much more personalized. And part of that is going to include the insights that you guys as agents are having here in Kelly and in Connect and in Command. They're all the same thing. So Insights here, like I said, is supposed to be helpful tips about your local area. So I want to show you this insight that I added here for Pensacola. And if I zoom out on this map just a little bit, you'll be able to get a little more relative view of where this is. So I'm originally from Pensacola as far as KW is concerned, and I used to live up here in this area, up towards Gonzales, north of Interstate 10, north of all the hustle and bustle of downtown Pensacola, and a little bit off of the beach. We've got Gulf Breeze here, and then we've got Santa Rosa Island out here where all the touristy beach stuff is. So I used to live a little bit up here, and on a good day, I could get down to the water in, like 30 minutes. On a bad day, well, it depended on how bad the day was. But on a good day, I could make it down to the water in about 30 minutes. And so I was able to save a lot of money living this far north. And I still had the benefit of all the fun stuff, the touristy stuff down here by the beach. And that's what I covered here in this insight. It's close to the beach without the hustle. So north of Interstate 10, let me click on edit here. And it looks like it cut it off, unfortunately. But north of Interstate 10 is an affordable, self-contained residential suburb with its own basics covered. Groceries, schools, shopping, entertainment, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes on to say that it's close to downtown and arts and tourist stuff and beach and everything. So that's what an insight is supposed to be, helpful to other agents and clients about your area. So, for example, let's see if we can find, or actually we're going to look at this in a little bit. But for example, you could add an insight about your favorite barber or your massage therapist or your dentist that you recommend. Or say, for example, you live in a military town or maybe a college town. You could share, I don't really have a good idea for a military one, but for a college town, you could say, hey, this is a great place for students to get good coffee or something like that. You can add that as an insight, and that's eventually going to show on the KW app for potential clients. For right now, it's only for other KW agents, but again, it's helpful for other agents that are maybe sending referrals your way to be able to show tips to those clients that they're sending toward your direction. So to add a new insight, we can tap on the add button up here at the top right, fairly obvious. So you're choosing where it is on the map. So you would go and find, I zoomed out a lot. I'm going to go over to like Kansas City here. And, just tap and hold or tap on that. Well, do I have to drag it? What's happening here? Okay, so I do have to drag that. So you can drag your little icon to where it is that you're wanting to make the insight about. So if you have a specific address or something, say, let's pretend like right here where this is my barber. It's in Kansas City. I don't have a barber. It's not in Kansas City, but pretend this is. So I can choose that spot on the map there. And then coming down here, you're choosing whether this is an individual place, a particular place, or is it an area that you're writing about. So my first insight would have been an area. This insight here is going to be about a particular place. And you're going to choose a category. What category is this? So this is going to be none of these, unfortunately. And unfortunately, you can't add your own category. So let me search barber. Yeah, not in there. Hair and beauty. We'll call that hair and beauty there. So we'll do done. So apparently you can add categories that are not listed here on this first page, so you can search for that. That's good to know. Once you've chosen your category, you can come down and give this a title. So great EAT barber in Kansas City, something like that. And you'd want to add more detail there. Or actually, no, you want to add detail here in the description here. So you would say, Tommy is my longtime friend and barber who has never done me wrong, something like that. And then you can add a picture of Tommy or of his storefront or something like that using this little photo icon down here. Once you've got all your information in there, you would just tap save, and that would add that to the insights section, and you could look at that later within your account, and other people would be able to see it here in Kelly, and again, eventually in the KW app. I'm just going to go back here because I don't want to add a fake insight in here. That would just confuse people. Okay, dropping down here to the map. I tapped on that a little early. Coming down to the map, this is where we're going to spend a good bit of the rest of our time. We're going to have to sort of breeze through everything else, but there's not really a lot to cover anyway. The map is where you're going to find a lot more of your functionality outside of contacts. Map is where most people are going to do a lot of their work. So here on the map page, what it's showing by default is listings. So if I tap on search this area, it's going to show me all the listings around my GPS location. There we go, we've got a lot of listings around here. And if I tap on any one of these little home icons, like this one up here, it shows me a quick summary of this listing: price, status, address, beds, baths, and square feet. If I want to view the full listing details, I can tap anywhere inside this rectangle and go see the whole listing. There we go, we got pictures, description, and all that fun stuff, just like in the MLS. Also from out here, it's really hard to see on my screen, but right here in the center over on the right side is a little tiny tab that has some triangles pointing in toward the center of the screen. If I tap on that, that's going to show me a list of listings that are in this area. And I can tap on any of those to look at the listing details for any of that. And then I can also search up here at the top for a city name or a zip code. Now to collapse this list here, you're going to tap on that same tab that we tapped on to open this up. And now those triangles are pointing back toward the edge of the screen, letting you know that it's going to collapse this. So if I tap on that, it's going to go back out here to the map view. I can also come up here at the top and search for a city name or a zip code. So I'm going to search for Boise. Boise, Idaho, tap on that. And it's going to pop out the list of listings. So 1,950 listings in Boise. And again, I can tap on this to minimize that list and just view it in the map mode. Now, something, never mind, not going to cover that. That's for the KW app. That's different. So that is listings. That's what it's going to show you by default when you just open up the map. You also have several other options to search for here in the map. So I'm going to tap on this little icon here that looks like a yard sign. That's your sign for listings. And then we'll start at the top here of the list. Where we are currently is listings. We're going to come up here to agents. Now this isn't super duper useful as far as finding an individual agent, and I'll show you why. When I tap on search this area, it's going to search for agents in Boise, and I'm only getting one dot here. Now I know that there are hundreds of agents in Boise, but I'm just getting one dot. Now what this means is that this is actually a market center that it's showing me. And if I tap on this, you're going to see this really quickly. It's going to show one agent, and then it's going to switch over to a different agent. So we've got, what have we got here? You saw that it showed that first agent's name, and then it popped up again as Trace Martin. Every agent in this market center that's located at this spot is stacked on top of each other here in this one dot. So instead, what you'd want to do is pop out the list over here on the right, which you should be able to see on your phone. So now I've got this full list of agents in Boise. So there are about 640 agents that are in Boise, and I can contact them here. I can tap on their name to view their profile, their Connect profile, and contact them that way. I can add them to my referral network. I can do that plus sign there to send them a request, or I can send a referral directly to them. Now we're not going to cover sending a referral because that's all covered in another class that we're going to be doing next week actually. And we're going to do that through command, but you can do all of those same things here in Kelly as well. Okay, so if you're looking for an agent, they're not going to show up on the map very well. They're just going to show here on the list. Now, I get this question about 50% of the time when I do this class. Is this showing live real-time locations of these agents? No. This is not connecting to anybody's phone. It's not pinging anybody's phone. You don't have that kind of access and power. This is just showing their market center location, and this is just showing agents that are part of that market center. And that same thing applies to everything else we're going to show you. There is no live GPS location of anybody but yourself on your phone. Nobody else you're going to get their actual location. So let's minimize this list here, come back out to the map here and zoom out just a little bit. And we're going to choose, instead of agents, we're going to look at contacts here. Now, if I tap on search this area, I don't have any contacts in Boise. I'd actually need to zoom way, way out, see the whole country, do search this area, and it's going to show me the physical addresses that I have for these different contacts. So if I tap on this one, it's a fake one, this Angela Todd up in Oh, there's a couple that I've got here in where I used to live in Indiana. This Brian Wheaton, fake guy, so is this Angela Todd, but I've got fake physical addresses in this city. Like I said with the agents, this is not live GPS locations of these contacts' locations. This is just whatever physical address you have in place in their contact information. So if you have a contact that doesn't have a physical address, they wouldn't show on the map results here. Okay? Now, what you can do with these contacts once you've found them on the map, and again, there's also the list over here on the right, you can do all these same things. You can send them a text message if you have their mobile number, or you can get directions to whatever this address is that you have stored in their contact. And if you do that, it's going to open up the default directions app on your phone. And this is going to be Maps here on an iPhone. Okay, coming up to our little icon here, we're going to go down to Insights. And there really aren't going to be any in Richmond. Let me come up here to Chicago. And we're going to tap on Search this area. Now there are going to be a lot of insights in this area, and it looks like somebody put a lot here in this one area. So I can tap on any of these icons to view more about that insight. So there's a touch of Ireland we got over here, Style 95 Barbershop, U.S. Postal Service. Over here we've got a State Farm insurance agent, and I can tap on that box there to see more about this insight that another KW agent has showed. This talks about Greg. This shows a picture of him. You can get directions to his office right here, and then you can vote this up or down. So I'm going to vote this up. I found this helpful. I can also even comment on this by, you have to tap on the comment icon, and you can come down here and say, thanks for sharing, and then tap send down here. Now the agent that shared this is going to get a notification in their Kelly app that I commented that. So that would be Kelly Ryan here. And I can actually tap on Kelly's name. Maybe I can't. Okay, can't tap on Kelly's name. So say I were to find an insight that wasn't in keeping with the spirit of, what's it called? Insights, the way that things are supposed to be. Yeah, and I'm not finding one here. So say I found like some self-promotion here in an insight. I could potentially, if I wanted to, come up and report that insight, because self-promotion isn't what insights are about. They're talking about your area, your service area, and things that go on in there. Okay, coming back up here to this icon one last time. Remember, where we started was listings, so let's come down here to snaps. And then we'll search this area. And there are going to be a lot of snaps here in the Chicago area, so it's going to take a long time to load those. Unable to complete search. I may need to zoom out a little bit. Maybe. I wonder why it's having trouble. Okay, let's try a different city. Let's go to Madison, Wisconsin here, and I keep rotating this. Search this area. I don't know what's happening. But I'm not surprised. Kelly, like I said, is still under development. You have to expect issues here. So let's search for Madison up here in the search bar. Madison, Wisconsin. 0 results. Why are you showing me 0 results? That is weird. Okay, well, that's to be expected, but you can search snaps on the map like that when it's working. It was working the last several times I tried it, but apparently it's not working today, so we just have to wait for KW International support to fix that up. Okay. All right, so that's how we're going to cover in the map there. So we've got about 10 minutes to cover everything else. Dropping down here to referrals. We're not going to cover how to work with referrals here, but suffice to say, everything you can do with referrals in Command and in KW Connect, you can also do here in Kelly. Viewer 3 is showing no listings in Madison. See, that's really weird. So are you saying like for sure there aren't any listings in Madison, or you're seeing on your app that you don't see any as well? Oh, gotcha. Sarcastic. Yeah, that it is really weird that it wouldn't show any listings in Madison. So I'm just saying, hey, there's an error. We just got to wait on it. Okay, so here in referrals, You can do all of the same things. You can send a referral to another agent. You can add agents to your referral network. You can update referrals that you're already working on. You can close out referrals to say that they closed or were not funded. You can do all those same things here in the referral section within Kelly. You can do a lot of those things via voice commands as well. And if you want to learn more specifically about how to work with referrals, definitely join us next week. We do that the fifth Wednesday of the month, if there is a fifth Wednesday. We cover working with referrals, groups, and the chat feature in Command. We'll be doing that next Wednesday, same time. Coming down to Keller Mortgage, if you're a member of Keller Mortgage, if you've joined that, you've been to agent.kellermortgage.com, and you've been through the sign up and the education for that. You can have your Keller Mortgage stuff show here. So this is people that have applied for loans through your Keller Mortgage link will be listed here. You can also share your pre-approval link. There are several ways to do that. We have a separate video for all the ways to share your pre-approval link, but you can share that via text message and all that here, and that's automatically going to get all the required documentation for applying for a loan through Keller Mortgage. And if you're unfamiliar with Keller Mortgage, it's actually really cool. Definitely encourage you to go get educated on that at agent.kellermortgage.com. And I believe it's available for everybody now. It's available for all KW agents. I don't think it's limited to certain market centers anymore. So definitely go get signed up for that. That'll add it here to Command and to, or excuse me, here to Kelly and to your KW app for clients to use. This task manager is a new one. So if we tap on that, this is going to show you your tasks, your reminders that you set for yourself in KW Command. And you can add to this using the plus sign up here. You can also complete, snooze, or skip these. These I'm going to skip because these are not real things that I actually need to do. But you can complete those. You can also click your plus sign up here to add a new one. So I've actually never done this on the phone before. So let's see what this looks like. Test. What is that called? Task. This is going to be due tomorrow. Nope, not July, tomorrow. And then it's going to be due, we'll call it 8 a.m., 2 p.m. And, do something with someone. Okay, we'll come down here. If there's a link to something, you can do that there. And then you can assign contacts to this. So I'm going to do my John Smith. Tap him. So now this contact is assigned to that task. You can assign multiple contacts to the same task. And you can remind yourself to do whatever it is. You can remind yourself to call them, to text them, to go visit them, to, such and such, anything that you want to do, you can put that in this task here. And it'll show up here in the tasks section of Kelly and under tasks in Command as well. So we'll save that. So now tomorrow at 2 o'clock, it's going to remind me to do such and such with John Smith. Coming back out here to my Command menu, there is also the option Open in Command here that would go log into Command on your mobile browser. Right now, there's not really a reason to do that. You can do pretty much everything that Command is capable of currently here in the Kelly app, so you don't need to go log separately into Command. Coming down here to Connect right in the center of the menu, eventually, it's coming soon, but eventually you'll be able to use the same chat feature that's on the Command homepage and on every page in Command here in Kelly. So chat with your team members, chat with other agents across KW, chat with KW International Support. You'll be able to do that here in Kelly. You've also got Connect feed here. This is going to pop in everything from all the groups that you're a member of in Connect. So we've got all groups feed up here at the top. So this is going to show me all the posts from all the groups I'm a member of in chronological order, and it'll tell you which group it's from, who posted it. You can view the full post, you can reply to it and all that. And then you can also tap on individual groups that you're a member of. And this is something that's covered in the commands, the groups class that we're doing next week as well. And you can see what's going on in this particular group. Now, as far as I can tell, you can't post to those groups here from Kelly. I assume that's coming eventually, but it's probably not super high priority. If you want to post to those groups, you would do that from inside Command, which you might need to go and log into Connect or Command here on your mobile browser. QR code. So this is where you can share your QR code for other people to scan and add you to their referral network via their Kelly app. You can scan somebody else's QR code, pardon my keyboard, and then it shows connections that you have scanned QR codes for, people that you've added to your referral network by scanning to their QR code already. And then referral network, this is showing the list of agents that are in your referral network, and you can tap on them and go contact them or send them a referral using this menu right here, send referral down here at the bottom. And that was this 3 dots menu here. And then, let's see, that's connect. We're running out of time, so I'm breezing through things here. One thing I forgot to cover from the homepage, this little bell icon up at the very top right. Almost anywhere that you go across the internet and across apps, bell means notification. So if you have a new notification about a task that you need to complete or a referral that you were sent or some activity on your content in Connect, that's going to show up here under this bell icon. You'll get a red number there. And when you tap on that, it's going to show the list of all of your notifications there. And you can interact with those right here from this menu. So you can tap on that to go view it and do something about it. Okay, popping over to consumer, there's not really anything to do here. This is just a preview of what the KW app is going to look like once it finally gets done. You can add an insight from here the same way that you could from command. Now, my understanding of it is basically the app is going to do lead capture right up front. It's going to have people create an account and put in their information. As soon as they download it, couching it as we want to personalize your recommendations for the listings that you're looking for. I don't know, I would assume, but I don't know whether there's going to be the option for people to use it without creating an account, but it's going to be way more lead capture friendly than the current KW app where people only fill out a lead capture form if they want to, if they're interested in a particular listing or they want to create an account and save a listing. The new app is going to do that right up front intentionally. And then lastly, under more here, there's not much to do. You can look at your profile that other agents see when they search for you in Connect and when they're trying to add you to their referral network. You can edit this profile now within Kelly. You used to not be able to, but you can do that right here, 3 dots. And oops, okay, where did that go? What happened to it? Okay, I guess we're back to not being able to edit your profile here within Kelly. Interesting. You used to be able to do that. Okay. Here under settings, there is only one setting, and it's to listen for Hey Kelly. Very similar to Hey Siri or Hey Google, and both of those are now going to activate on my phone. Or actually, neither of them heard me. Cool. But it's very similar to those. You can say, Hey Kelly, such and such, without having to tap on the microphone icon to use a voice command. Now, that's only while Kelly is open. It's not going to be a full assistant across your whole phone. Just while you've got Kelly open, you can say, Hey Kelly, snap such and such city. Or you can say, Hey Kelly, add a contact. Or Hey Kelly, look up so-and-so, something like that. And she'll be listening for you to say, Hey Kelly. I have it turned off because I say Hey Kelly a lot during this class and I don't need her listening to all of those. But you guys can turn that on. Now, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but last I heard this was not yet functional on Android. It says coming soon or not yet available on Android. I believe it's only available on iPhone for the time being. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, back up here at the top left, coming back. You've got notifications, which is going to open up the same thing as tapping this bell icon up here. And then you've got submit feedback about the app. So you can submit that to KW International Support here. You can choose your category, add in a description for that, and you can even add, if you took a screenshot, you can add an image there. And then you can also log out of Kelly right here. Okay. We are mostly out of time, but I do want to make sure to open it up for questions if anybody has any. If there's anybody that joined us late in the class, if you'll look near the very top of your screen, you should have these same 5 buttons that I do. If you click on this one just to the left of center that looks like a speech bubble icon, that's going to open up the chat window here. So if you do have questions, definitely send those over there in that chat window. I do want to clear anything up if anybody has any questions. Thank you. I appreciate appreciation there, but I'll leave that open for another minute or two and see if anybody sends anything over. All right, got a question for how do I add a referral agent? Do you mean add somebody to your referral network? You would just ask Kelly, add, what's your name? Would you send me that over, Viewer 19? Billingsley to my referral network. Send that. Okay, that's weird. I don't have Bonnie Billingsley. I don't know why it's telling me that. Add to my referral network. Okay, that's weird. All right, so the alternative to that is to go into the command section here down at the bottom. We're going to go to the map. We're going to choose agents here. Up in the top right here, we've got the yard sign icon. Tap on agents. And I'm going to, Bonnie, what city are you in? Southlake, Texas. Southlake, Texas. There we go. Okay, and theoretically, you would show up here. Let me go up to filters and see if, okay, no. So Bonnie, right now, there's not an easy way to add referrals. Let me grow my network. Yeah, see, filters. Yeah. That is an important question, and I want to see if there's a way for me to do that. Okay, right now there isn't an easy way to do that here in Kelly, unfortunately. So the way to do that would be through the referral section within Command, and we're going to be covering that next week, same time. That's going to do it for our Kelly overview for today. Definitely join us next week for the groups, chat, and referrals in KW Command. Everybody have a great day.